All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our weekly football media luncheon here in the Black and Gold Room on the campus of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. My name is Habtam Khalida. I'm the Sports Information Director, and without further ado, we will get started. Coach Coleman, we had a SWAC game this past weekend at home. Looked good from the early get-go, but we'll let you go ahead and get to the meat of things against Valley.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank everyone for being with us this afternoon for this press conference. If I look like I'm a little disappointed, it's because I am. If it looks like I'm a little mad, it's because I am. A game that I wanted to win, that we all wanted to win. Game that hurts us but doesn't kill us. We still got a chance. And that's what we're working on. That's what we're building on. There was a lot of good things that happened in the game. We started fast like we wanted to. We jumped up to a 14-0 lead. And then we made some mistakes. The one thing that has happened thus far, we've been bit by the injury bug. We lost our starting corner, Dave White, in the game. And we played a freshman, and he played good, played hard, extremely hard, but made some mistakes, and they kind of capitalized on his mistakes. Mississippi Valley was a game that definitely we was not looking past. We knew the type team that they were, or they are. We felt like we had an opportunity to win that football game. I think our guys and coaches were ready to win that football game, but there's three plays that sticks out the most to me. And I think those are the three plays that kind of caused us to lose the football game. The one play, which was 7 points, we're going in for a touchdown. Dante McDonald, he's running, he fumbles the football on the 1 yard line, and that hurt. That hurt a lot. That took 7 points off the board. Then we were after the quarterback real hard, had a great rush by the defensive line and linebackers. He's scrambling around, and he just kind of heaves one up for a Hail Mary, and they catch it right on the back of the end zone line. So now there's 14 points. Then the last one, which was a backwards pass, a double pass, and we kind of relaxed because it looked as if the ball hit the ground, which it did, which is still legal because it was a lateral. We kind of relaxed, and they threw the double pass for a touchdown. So that is 21 points. And those three plays is really pretty much the tail of the tape. The guys fought hard all night long. The offense, I take my hat off to the offensive line. I take my hat off to Keyshawn. Alcorn, he got an interception. He didn't know how to run the ball once he got it, but he got an interception. If he keeps up the sideline, he might score, but hey, he did a great job. That was his first interception of the season, and we were very proud of that. We pride ourselves, like we talk about every week, taking the football away. So he got us started with that. We went down and scored our first touchdown off his interception, which was outstanding. I think I went to him on the sideline after we scored, and I told him that was his touchdown. And it was. You know, the thing that keeps me going with these guys and the coaches, keep all of us going, is we're playing hard. I can't emphasize that enough, that we're playing hard. The thing that we've got to do as we mature with some of the freshmen that we've got playing, we lost our starting free safety against Alabama A&M. We lost our starting corner against Valley. And it's starting to take its toll on us. But the thing that the guys do, we had probably one of the best practice last week. Last week was some of the best practice we've had all year long. They're not looking down. They're not holding their heads down. They're coming out. Just a minute ago, Mr. Alcorn says to me, he says, we've got to have a great practice today. And that's their take on it, is it starts in practice, which we're getting good practice or having good practices, and we will continue to play hard. If you look at the schedules around the league, we hadn't played a West team yet. You know, the SWAC is divided into two divisions. You've got the East and you've got the West. All the teams that we've played thus far has been on the East. So we've got a chance. we still have a chance. And that's what we're preaching as coaches. That's what I'm preaching as the head coach, that we are not out of this thing yet. And after that loss this past weekend, I kind of feel sorry for Central State, because I know these guys are going to come out ready to play. They're going to be ready to practice, and we're going to take it out on them. Going to take us a week off, and then we're going to get ready for Southern. So by no means stretch of the imagination are we out of it. We're still in it. We still feel confident in the team that we have. We've got to get over the little boo-boos that we've got with the guys that will not be able to play, and it's next man up. It's next man up. But these two guys next to me, they are leaders on the team. Keyshawn had an outstanding game. Mr. Alcorn had an outstanding game, and that's the reason why they're here with you. And they will not, I say it again, they will not let us stop. We're going to continue. We're going to continue. As bad as we may feel after losing to Valley, we will not stop, and we will continue to play and practice the way champions do. Thank you.
Wonderful. And introducing our two student athletes here today, we've got running back Keyshawn Williams on the far right from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, as well as Shafon Alcorn, cornerback, here on my near side. And Coach, before we take questions, can you give us a little preview of the Central State game, a winless team coming in town? We've got homecoming. It's a big atmosphere. Everybody's excited, looking like we can bounce back from the Valley loss.
And that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to bounce back to get us another victory. Central State is a very good football team, very well coached. They do a lot of things that Valley does as far as plays. Everybody's running the RPOs. They're going to run the RPOs. The thing that we can't do is we can't allow our football team to play down to their level. They have not won a football game. The thing that we're going to emphasize the most in this particular ball game is we've got to start fast. I think if we get up a couple, 2-3 touchdowns, they very easily could stop playing in a sense. But we've got to do that. We've got to put our foot on the back of their neck and don't take it off, and that's what we're looking to do. I think all of us are a little mad. You know, I started my opening statement with being a little mad. It hurts. If you've ever coached or if you've ever played and you're a competitor, it hurts to lose. Regardless of who you lose to, it hurts. And it hurts for a couple of days. I'm getting over it because we're through with Valley, now in Central State. They're a good football team. They're going to come in, and this will be their Super Bowl. If they can beat a Division I football team, this will be a Super Bowl win for them. So we're preparing not to let that happen. And but to answer your question, they are a very good football team. They're going to throw the football the most on offense. They blitz some on defense, but they're going to stay back and play some zone and play some man and try to make you make mistakes.
Wonderful, Coach. Appreciate that. We'll get started with questions now from the media. Anybody?
Pine Bluff Commercial, Elsie Brown. How you doing, Coach?
Yes.
All right.
All right. First off, Coach, could you address the quarterback change going with Leo Patterson as the starter? He passed for 198, a touchdown, and an interception, ran for 89 yards. Could you just talk about that?
We felt Coach White came to me and said, you know what, I really want to start Leo in this particular ball game. Coach White is our offensive coordinator, and he and I were thinking on the same planes. When we played against Alabama A&M, we brought Leo, was the A&M we brought him in? Jackson State, excuse me. We brought him in Jackson State. He gave the offense kind of a surge that we needed to win that game. He finished the game in overtime for us against Jackson. We didn't play him in A&M, and we sat back and we said, you know what, maybe we should have. It may have given the offensive side of the ball just a little bit more spark. So during practice and others, Coach White, he came to me and said, you know what, I want to play Leo, and he had my blessings on that. And I think the rest is history. He came in. He gives us. He's such a competitor. He hates to lose. He's tough. He's going to run with the football, which he did. I think, what'd you say, 89 yards rushing. He threw the ball extremely well, with exception to the one turnover. So he gave us the spark. I mean, we put up, 31 points. So Leo, he did a great job for us.
Okay. Now, going to Valley and their quarterback change that was forced, I believe, after the Alcorn interception. Their main guy, he finished with 71 yards passing. They decided to pull him, and they went with Betts, who threw for 300 plus and 5 touchdowns. Could you talk about their quarterback change in the midst of the game and how big that was for them?
I know the kid Betts. We recruited Betts. We knew his ability, and he kind of showed it. You know, he made some plays when he absolutely had to have plays, and I think, you know, and I talked with him briefly after the game. He very easily could have, you know, found a home as a starting quarterback. I thought that he gave them the spark that they needed, just like Leo did against Jackson State for us. He gave them the spark that they needed, and he made plays. So for his productivity, able to run the football, and able to pass the football, you know, the young man came in, and both of the guys were freshmen. Both the guy that started and Betts were freshmen, and they came in and played better than freshmen.
All right. Now, those 5 passing touchdowns, well, some of those came on like scramble drills where he just found a man, like you said, like on a Hail Mary on one of those attempts. Could you just talk about the bust? Were those busted coverages back there, or were there just receivers breaking free because of the time that he was allowed from the scramble?
When a quarterback scrambles, what we teach the secondary, it goes from zone to man, and it's not necessarily a man, but any man that's close to you, you lock up with him, and you play man to man. Now the offense, on the other hand, what they say is, okay, this is what the defense is going to do. They're going to play man in this case, so you run away from them. And that's what they did. They ran away from our guys, and the guy is literally standing on the back end zone line, and he just kind of heaved it up. And you know, he makes a great catch. He goes over a couple of our players and makes a great catch and keeps his feet in bounds for the touchdown. Tough. That was 7 that, you know, because we had great pressure. He was running around. The defensive line and linebackers was after him pretty good. And like I said, he just kind of heaved it. So.
Okay. Now, on offense, you guys were pretty balanced with 200 plus passing, 300 plus rushing, something around there. I mean, that's a pretty balanced attack that you know, look for on the normal. Could you just talk about what the running game was able to do for you guys, and building on that going forward with guys like Keyshawn and Christian Jordan, bringing it consistently?
Keyshawn is pretty much healthy now. He missed the A&M game because of the hip pointer. He's healthy, and he showed it. Saturday night he showed it. You know, that's one of the things that the offensive coaching staff, Coach White and his staff, want to do. They want to be balanced. We don't want to be known just as a passing team. We want to be able to run the football to open up the pass, and also pass the football to open up the run. With great backs like Keyshawn and Jordan and Dante and Woodfall. People like that running the football gives us a great opportunity to throw the football. So we went into that game plan. We're going to run, and we're going to pass. I think Valley, going into the game, they were the #1 pass defense, so we knew we had to run the football, which we did, and we were also successful in throwing. So that's a given for us against anybody. We want to be balanced at the end of the day with our run-pass ratio.
All right, Coach. Now, how big of a luxury is it to have a kicker like you have in Jamie Gillen? I think he had a 52-yarder with the SWAC. I mean, the UAPB all-time record. Could you just talk about the threat that he poses at any time in the game?
If you look at Jamie, you wouldn't look at him as a kicker. You would think that he was, from his stature, you would think he was a linebacker or a cornerback or a safety or something like that. Jamie prides himself on kicking the football. He's an old rugby player from the motherland. From where is he from? Yeah, I thought it was. But old rugby player, tough as nails, love to kick the football. Sometimes we have to tell him to stop kicking the football. It's as a head coach, it's my druthers to have 2 kickers. The young man that we recruited out of high school, he decided to go to the Navy. he would have had the kicking duties this year, and Jamie would have punted only. But because he went to the Navy at a late date, we didn't bring in another one. We told Jamie that he would have both roles, and I think he had, 3 in-20s this past weekend. And every week it's like that. He knows how to kick the ball. He can rugby kick it. He can punt it, kick it, and his kickoff. I mean, his field goals. We've got Coach Sheffield. He's our special teams coach, and he's an ex-kicker, so he's been giving him different tips on what to do, his plant leg and how to hit it and all of that, and it's shown up this year. That 52-yarder was huge for us right before halftime. Gave us a 17-14 going in at half, and gave us momentum. So Jamie has worked his weight in gold.
Okay. Now, homecoming, big week here. Central State coming in. I believe they're in the same conference as Morehouse, who
Yes.
you guys played earlier. They lost to Morehouse by 2 points early this year.
Yes.
They led at halftime of that game. Last week against Miles College, they led at halftime of that game. They just haven't been able to finish. What have you seen from them as far as the aspect of being able to finish? Like you said, if you guys come out and get up on them, they might quit. Have you seen that in them on film?
Not really. They've played hard. I've watched hadn't seen the Miles game, but I've seen Morehouse and others games that they've played, and they're a very good football team. They've got some good athletes. They got a couple of safeties, a couple of linebackers that really run to the football. The running back, they've got a bruiser. Talked to one of the people from Miles College who played them last week, and he said this running back is the truth. He can really run the football. So watching them on film, I'm just hoping that we can, in hostile territory, that's why I need everybody here, plus 16,000 more, to be at the game rooting for us, so it'd make it hostile for them. So maybe, just maybe, they will shut it down once we get that lead up on them.
Last question here, Coach. Like you said, you haven't played any teams out of your own division yet. Everything's still in front of you guys. Could you just talk about how big that is for going forward and keeping team camaraderie together?
That's big. I'm happy to say that I really don't have to keep these guys up. They're fired up. They can read the paper. They see situations. They know all the schematics of it. I don't have to come in with the pep talk. They know where we are. They know what we have to do. We've got to play our game. And they get ready week in and week out, without just huge pep talks. Yeah, we talk about this week being homecoming. There's a lot of activities going on. The importance of making sure that we're taking care of our business, that we're not up late at the frat parties or any parties for that matter, that we're getting our rest and taking care of our business on Saturday, because if it doesn't go our way on Saturday, it's really not a very good feeling. You really don't want to do anything. So we want to make sure that everybody, all the alumni, all the family, and all the friends have a great homecoming, and it starts with us. So that's the focus. These guys are focused. Just like Mr. Alcorn said, like I alluded to, hey, we got to have a great practice today, and that's where it's going to start.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, members of the media, questions, please.
Tim Stubbs, UAPB-TV Sports. Coach, at about 100 snaps total, both sides of the ball. The game's generally defined in a handful of plays. One of those plays, going for it there in the fourth quarter on your own 30, was that something just you felt confidence
Yes.
from to get it, or a sense of urgency?
I felt confident. Coach White and I, we talked about it after the game, and I told him if I had to do it again, I would, because I've got that much confidence in the offense. Sometimes you do. It's a gamble. It is a gamble, and I realized where the ball was, so I knew, what I would be putting the defense in if we don't get it. And unfortunately for us at that time, we didn't get it. Now, if you look at the film, or if you're at the game, the way they spotted the football had a little bit with it, because it was actually spotted up and they moved it back for whatever reason right before he snapped it. And when I questioned the side judge, he said, well, the center was going to scoot it up, so he never said anything about it. So, but that's not the way it should have been. Whatever yard line it was, the ball was actually spotted on the other side of the yard line. and then somehow we got back on the other side. But yeah, I've got all the confidence in the world that, you know, between Keyshawn, between Dante, between Lee Earl, any of the running backs that we've got, we will get that 1 yard more time than not.
Healthy Keyshawn really showed
Yes.
Saturday. That's as explosive as I've seen him since he's been here. Just leaving him speed, taking it to the crib, and it was over. Like there was nobody catching the guy.
Yes.
13 carries, 147 yards, 11 yards a carry, 2 catches, 42 yards. That's a dynamic performance.
Absolutely.
I know you'd like to get him the ball even more.
He's the workhorse at this point. I mean, you know, if he gets started, we've got good backups in Christian. We've got good backups in Dante and the other backs to come in and relieve him. But, you know, just talking with Coach Sane, the running back coach, and Coach White, we definitely want to keep Keyshawn in as much as possible because he showed just what you saw last evening on Saturday evening during training camp and during spring, that he has the ability to take it to the house. And, you know, he did that. He did something this summer. I don't know what. He did something working on his
strong
speed.
runner also for his size. He runs the ball.
Well, that has a lot to
aggression.
do with the weight room. He's very, very active in the weight room. When we're running sprints or we're running conditioning, he's going to be at the top almost every time. So, you know, I commend him for the game that he had this past weekend, but that's old news. I need that this week.
Absolutely, and representing Pine Bluff and Dalloway, it's always good to have the hometown young men representing as well. As far as Mr. Alcorn, pound for pound, maybe toughest competitor on the team. Another big, he just always seems to have a couple of big plays each game.
I can't say enough about Mr. Alcorn. Definitely one of our leaders on the defensive side of the ball. As a coach, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way at all, but you know, you're looking for the Bill Ross looking players, you know, the 6'2s, the 6'1s, the corners at 5'11. You're looking for the big muscular guys on the defensive line. You're not looking for Mr. Alcorn.
and so is everybody else. That's why they're hard to get.
But pound for pound,
Yeah.
he's got the biggest heart and most competitive spirit that I've seen in anybody on this football team for a lot of years. So it's not just by happenstance that he's started for us pretty much all the games last year, came back this year and started for us and playing well for us. It's because of his work ethic, his ability to make plays, and it really doesn't matter how tall or how big the people that he's going up against. He has the heart, and I admire him for that because we've got some of the 6'6s and 7s, and their heart's not as big as Alcorn. So, I mean, I love this guy. I love what he brings to the team, and I love what he brings to the table every week. He prepares himself, and he does a great job for us.
Absolutely, it shows. Quarterback situation, obviously, it's not a controversy. Just going with the hot hand right now, or is it game by game, depending on the game plan versus that particular team?
Game by game. Game by game. We could very easily see Brandon back in, but it's a game by game. Lee's just a little bit more athletic, and I think that's one of the reasons why Coach White wanted to make that nod or that move. But it's a game by game. Either one of those guys can lead us to what we're trying to do. We're not mad at Brandon at all. We're not mad at him at all. He you know, the good thing about this team too, when Brandon was playing, Lee Earl was probably his biggest fan. Lee Earl got the nod over Brandon this past week. Brandon was probably his biggest fan. When he come off the field, Brandon is talking to him the same way Lee Earl talked to him, telling him what he saw and coaching him up so that we can go out and we can perform. And that's the making of a good football team. We're only a few players away, Tim, from having a great football team. A good recruiting class this year can get us over the top. We still got some youth, playing a lot of guys. I mean, on the offensive line, which Keyshawn had 147 yards. Three of those guys were freshmen. Yeah, 3 freshmen, true freshmen. Yeah, one got his start, his very first start, the left guard, his very first start Saturday evening. And you know, the 2 tackles, one tackle on the left, which is the blind side, he's a true freshman, and the tackle on the right is a junior college transfer. So in the center, of course, is the transfer that we got in the spring. But all 5 of those guys are a little bit different, and we kind of changed it out. Coach Nivens did, kind of changed it out, and I thought the offensive line played well. And if you look at the productivity of the running backs and success of the quarterbacks from a rushing standpoint, only 1 sack. The week before, I think we gave up 6 sacks, and only 1 sack, and that came very late in the 4th quarter.
Okay, Coach. Good luck this weekend, homecoming, and the bye week after that. That's all I got.
Thank you.
All right, we can move to the audience at this time, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach Coleman.
Hey, Coach.
Is there any plans for instant replay? I think instant replay is a part of college football, and you mentioned 3 plays in that football game that if we had instant replay, it could have gone either way.
Yes, sir.
The touchdown that went in the end zone, it could have, you know, one official called it. The fumble, the player could have had his knee down.
That's right.
And of course, you know, so is there any plan for us to have instant replay in college football? It's part of college football, and we should have it.
I agree with you, Coach, 100%. I definitely agree with you. And to answer your question, yes, sir, there is plans, and I think it's in store for next year, depending on the capabilities of the institutions in the SWAC. But yes, sir, they're trying to bring instant replay to the SWAC, and I think it's going to be mandatory across the SWAC next year. Yes, sir.
More questions, please.
Make sure the mic's on. Coach, since I'm limited in the number of questions I can ask, I want to make a comment. Our illustrious athletic director, Lonzo Harden, has implemented a clear bag policy. And I know you're not aware of any of this, but I've noticed that some of the other games that we went to, how ineffective it was. Then I noticed at our game how effective it was. Now, I'm just saying this so that the fans, when they come in for homecoming, with that crowd, if they'll start maybe 10 minutes earlier to allow for the complete search, because a number of people will not realize the clear bag policy, and they'll have to be dealt with at that point. So it might slow things down a little. But we had a good reception when it comes to people with clear bags. So I don't anticipate any problem. Just it'll be a little longer. It'll take us a little bit longer to get everybody in, but it's worth it because it's for the safety of the fans that are entering the game.
Right. And I think I can speak for Mr. Hardy on this behalf. You know, we're living in a world now that it's hard to predict where people may go to insult others. We saw it in Las Vegas not too long ago. All around the country, we hear every day about incidents that's happening, and all this is to you know, prevent or try to prevent anything crazy happening amongst our families. The Golden Line family at one of our football games. So, you know, we support it. And I know what you're saying. You support it also.
Yes.
And I know he heard you. He's here this evening or this afternoon. And he heard what you're saying as far as opening up the gates maybe a little earlier or whatever it may take to get the guys through. But it's
Coach,
all,
what I'm saying
it's
is
all in protection of of you.
Right. And I'm saying that the fans need to come a little early.
Okay.
To get ready to compensate for the long
absolutely.
lines. You know, I think we're doing everything fine.
Yes,
it's
sir.
just I'm telling the fans that will see this broadcast
Absolutely.
that just if you're 10 minutes earlier, everything ought to work out on time.
Yes, sir. I agree with you.
Now to my questions.
Okay. Question.
Oh, I got two doozies. Coach, doing your, I think, you have to correct me, I'm 70 years old. You correct me if my thinking is south of what it should be.
Yes, sir.
During the 2012 campaign, when we won the SWAC championship, you made a statement in one of these luncheons that you expect your defense to hold the opposing team's offense to 17 points or less.
Yes, sir.
And I think that you said that you wanted the offense to score 29 points, something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
You got the first part. I never put a goal on the offense. But,
Okay.
But what you're referring to is it's our goal and has been our goal for numerous of years to try and hold. We feel like we can win the football game if we hold them to 17 points or less. And it didn't happen this past weekend. Of course, we gave up 38 points. If we take away the 21 points, what does that leave us?
I don't know. Tell me. I can't hear that fast.
I keep forgetting you got that Arkansas education.
That's right. but Coach, what I'm alluding to is
let me just finish that thought. I mean, then we'll be at 17. To take the 21 from the 38. We'll be at 17. But that's a goal. That's our goal. We feel like if we can hold anybody, that our offense is potent enough that they're going to score more points, which they did, 31 points, and we should win the football game. You know, I put pressure on the offense. If they score 38, I want to score 39. And I do put that pressure on the offense. So that's why we don't really have an offensive goal as far as how many points. We want just one more than anybody else. But for the defense, what you're alluding to is one of our goals.
I got you.
That we do have in place.
Well, Coach, since we did give up 38 points, when the offense wasn't performing as you wanted it to, you made a twerk, you made a change in the quarterback. Yes. Is there anything that you can do on the defensive side of the ball, like, as an example, stunts on the line, or a linebacker shooting the gap, or the help from the safeties with the corners, because we did give up. Mississippi Valley had one player that had 5 catches for 125 yards. And it makes me think that maybe they could have had some help over the top. Is there something that you can do to tweak it to maybe lessen that severity?
And this isn't a cop-out or an excuse. We don't make excuses. One of the biggest problems that we're faced with right now, Bubba, on the defensive side of the ball is we're losing our starters. We're losing starters. And therefore, now we're playing young guys who have 0 college experience. Now, by saying that, and there's a lot of coaches in here, they'll understand that the speed of the game in high school is a little bit slower than it is in college. And as you're matriculating each game, each week, you know, if they know that you are a freshman, that's who they pick on. I mean, you hear it on commentators every week. They find as a freshman, they're going to pick on them. And we got all the confidence in our freshmen. We'll get some of the guys back. Blake Connor, starting free safety, broke his wrist. Dave White's got a real bad ankle sprain. And I think that's one of the reasons why they were able to throw the football as efficiently as they did. Now, giving them credit also, they came in as the #1 pass offense in the SWAC. So, you know, it wasn't just us that they've thrown the football. They've won against us, but they've thrown the football very well each week.
Okay. And last question. Coach, this has been spoken about, but I don't think we can speak enough about Jamie Gillum.
Yep.
Jamie Gillum, I don't think we as fans pay enough attention to him or what he's doing. That young man is preseason All-SWAC,
yes,
probably going to be postseason All-SWAC,
yes,
and is probably performing better than any kicker or punter in the SWAC. And I think that having been given the punting duties, now he was brought in as a place kicker, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, and given the punting duties, we just saw what he did kicking. And when on the kickoffs, he consistently puts that ball in the end zone, which gives us that a better field position for the defense.
That's right.
You know, he's doing that at an all SWAC level, and then punting, and he knows how to. He's had to run with the ball and punt, and drop the ball inside the 20-yard line. Right. You know, and he's almost amazing. He's so amazing to me that I gave him a nickname, Gold Toe. And he recognizes it. And you've always commented on him, but I just wanted to reiterate, because that's one of the questions I had in mind when I was planning on coming to the luncheon.
You know, Jamie is a competitor. If you watch Golden Toe, he'll jump in and he'll make a tackle too.
Like he did Saturday.
Like he did. So Jamie's got the mindset of a rugby player. He just happened to be kicking, and he's doing an outstanding job. I think he's leading the SWAC. I know he's leading in punting right now, net yards, and very easy could be leading in other categories. Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Any more questions from the audience, please?
May I read off the outstanding?
That's going to cost you, Bubba.
One per next week.
I just want everybody to know what our standings are in the SWAC, to let you know we're still in this. And in the East Division, Alcorn State is 3-0. Alabama A&M 2-1. Alabama State 0-2. Mississippi Valley State 1-1. Jackson State 0-3. On our side of the division, the western side of the division, Grambling State is 3-0. Prairie View A&M is 2-1. Southern is 1-1. Arkansas Pine Bluff is 1-2, and Texas Southern is 0-3. So we're in there.
We got a chance, Bubba.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions from the audience, coaches, faculty, staff? Yes, sir.
The name is Jackie K. Son from Chicago, Illinois. That was a young man that played for St. Rita 2 weeks ago. That's a very powerful school in the city of Chicago. Scored 4 touchdowns, and his mom called me and said, I would love for my son to be a UAPB. So the next time you guys are in Chicago, by all means, give me a call and I'll take you to the family.
Well, actually, if you can just pass that name and what school that he's at to us, we will put him on our recruiting board.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
I'll call his mom as soon as
Please.
this program is up. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be here for homecoming, and we'll see you at the Southern game also.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Any more questions before we do announcements? Looks like we have another giveaway from Kalisa. She'll draw the name, so if you guys can please pull out your tickets at this moment. She did? Okay, we got a winner. Tell them, Coach. I'll see you, Coach.
Last 3287.
287. We have a winner for homecoming.
No, for Grambling.
Oh, for Grambling. Okay, for next month. Against the Tigers. Congratulations. All right, taking a look at the remainder of the events that we have for homecoming week. Wednesday, we've got Miss UAPB coronation, 6 o'clock at H.O. Clemens Arena. The coronation ball will be right after the ceremony. Also on Thursday, the homecoming alumni scholarship golf tournament at 8:30 at Harbor Oaks Golf Course. We also have the yard jams from 12 to 3 at the L.A. Davis Student Center, or Student Union. There's also a bonfire Thursday night at 9:30 at the Hyper on the backside. And then Friday, we've got our annual alumni assembly Friday morning at 10 o'clock at the H.O. Clemens Arena. And then the alumni awards luncheon at 12:30. It's $45 per person at the STEM Conference Center. All right, and also the Alumni Hall of Fame banquet and the Greek show on Friday night. $7 this week and $10 at the door. And then, of course, Saturday morning, our homecoming parade and our homecoming game. So we invite everybody to come out there. We thank you for all of your support, students, faculty, staff, alumni. It's going to be a big one this week, so we encourage each and every one of you to come out. We'd always like to thank UAPB Dining Services for doing a wonderful job for us in our weekly coaches luncheon, so special thanks. Sure, absolutely, Coach.
Can I just get the players to just say a word?
Absolutely,
Their
absolutely.
perspective on the upcoming
sure.
game.
We have Keyshawn, as we mentioned, Keyshawn Williams, hometown hero, and then Shafan Alcorn. If y'all want to say a word for sure.
This upcoming week, I think we're gonna get a W for sure. No doubt in my mind. I think we're gonna come out here and practice hard and showcase our talent.
Wonderful.
My goal is 300 yards.
He can do it too. He can do it. He can do it. Shafan, any words from the defensive backs?
This upcoming week, I know we're gonna get a win. We gotta focus. We gotta give all the effort we got and just have a good practice.
Pick six.
Yes, that too.
Come on, come on. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you guys so much for coming today, and let's eat.
Thank you.
Thank you.